Good morning, and thank you for joining me, and welcome to Namaste Today, an empowering way to begin your day. I'm your heartfelt host and the Sensei to Serious Joy, Christopher Witecki. This audio blogcast is for Thursday, June 29, 2017. Welcome back, my friend. Namaste. Well, after 8 straight days of high tide on the high seas of the sun in Cancer, today things will begin to feel solid. In today's Zodiac weather, I'll talk about how you're making a double commitment to feel better. And later, in our tea time, we have a grand trine in Earth today, and that means we're finally reaching some solid ground. I'll break it down for all 12 signs over tea. But first, let's take a look at today's mood and your Zodiac weather. This Zodiac weather is for Thursday, June 29th, 2017. And my global forecast for planet Gaia is sunny and solid today. We have a soul harmonic of step 8, and a grand trine in Earth solidifies some things. Let's take a look at the planets. Well, after several days of bouncing up and down on an emotional waterbed, which is basically the introduction to Cancer, us facing all of our variety of motion, today things will simmer down a bit. You could say that up until now we are at emotional high tide, but today, because step 8 rules the day, that's the detriment of Cancer, and so now we are at low tide. And with the sea having gone to low tide, it reveals everything that was underneath that water, all the ripples, all the sand, and with that clarity of view, you'll be able to make some decisions and commitments in your life today. Now, we are talking about Cancer, so the decision and the commitment has to do with how you feel about something. And today we have what I call a soul harmonic. The sun is at step 8, and Mercury, our thoughts, are at step 17 Cancer, which nets to an 8. So this double 8 means that there's a double decision that will happen. The sun at step 8 is saying the heart can no longer feel a certain way. So we're saying we no longer feel a certain way about life, about someone, about a particular issue. And Mercury at step 17 says we're pointing our feelings now to feel a new way, a higher way, the next octave, if you will, of emotion and decision making. So today it's a double dose decision where your mind is basically committing to the future of how you want to feel, and your heart is turning your back on how you no longer want to feel. Decision making is step 8, which is Capricorn, which is the opposite of Cancer, which is the detriment of Cancer. And this is a good little learning lesson for the moment. If you are lost in a sea of emotion, Cancer, you have to go to the Capricorn side and make a decision or a commitment. That is the guaranteed way out of the emotion. So today we are making those commitments. Now, where's the moon herself? The moon is actually progressed into Virgo, and the moon is triggering a temporary grand trine in Earth. The moon is trining over to Pluto in Capricorn, which is trining over to Venus in Taurus, and back to the moon. What this comes down to is a trifecta, basically 3 areas of solid ground in your life coming together to one unified commitment. And the cool thing is it's being led by that moon in Virgo. In very practical terms, the moon in Virgo really means that we're going to be feeling our life. We're going to be feeling the reality of our life. We're going to be feeling all the details of our life. And the moon is in Act 3, or the 3rd decan of Virgo today. And that means that we'll be projecting emotionally on where things may be going. And it's this projection of where we feel reality may go that really allows you to anchor today to an idea. Venus in Taurus says at the same time as you're feeling into the future, you're opening up to something new. Step 24 is where Venus is. That's the Grandmaster step of Venus. And so that means this is the final note or the final detail or the final level we needed to open up to when it came to our manifestation. So we're feeling the future and we're opening up to a new level of manifestation. Then Pluto in the same trine says that as we're feeling this reality and future, as we're opening up to a new level of manifestation, Pluto says we are killing off. Something is dying. In the old control system, which is what Capricorn is, something is dying. An era is now dying when it comes to the way you used to feel in control and the rules around being in control. So it's death to an old control system, it's birth to a new reality, and it's you feeling into the future. So in essence, this decision today to step away from old feelings and to aim for new feelings, underneath this decision to change the way life feels, the planets are saying you will be sculpting and opening to a new reality, closing down an old reality, and moving forward in the future. It's not just an emotional decision. It's going to turn into some hard reality. Now, just as an interesting side note, the United States of America is a step 13 Cancer. And knowing how much of a political and tumultuous year it has been, this is the time of year where the nation of the United States, a Cancer, will change how it feels about certain things. So you could say that political races and elections happen in November, but people and the country's mood actually changes around the 4th of July. Well, with step 8 ruling the day and having this soul harmonic, I would not be surprised if we didn't really feel amongst ourselves and our neighbors that our feelings about certain politics, our feelings about the nation, they do too also make a bit of a shift and a change in the next 36 hours. So with that said, I want to dive a little deeper on this grand trine in Earth. Go steep yourself some tea. Let's have our daily tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is solid ground. It's almost like we've been caught in the sea and in the ocean with the sun in Cancer. A lot of emotion up and down. I, for one, have absolutely felt it, and I have been way on top of my self-nurturing skills too. So it's been a bit of an emotional rough sea. And I've talked about this. I think it's due to the fact that we really are turning our back on an era in our life, and we really are turning toward a new era. And this is the part where you can think about it all you want, you can plan it all you want, but when it comes down to actually doing the soul work, you're going to be in this kind of emotional transition, and you're going to have to feel your way through it and just get to the other side of it. Well, today we finally start to make some headway with step 8 in this harmonic, and making decisions about how we want to feel will guide the entire soul ship, so to speak, your entire direction. So all you have to do is be clear on how you want to feel, and the universe will fill in the rest of the details. But this soul pyramid, or grand trine in Earth right now, this is a welcome solid ground. This says that as we're making this emotional decision and pure emotional decision, we're also going to see some solid life changes. That's what a grand trine in Earth means. Results, things you can measure, things you can count, events you can remember and take notes on. So this is a good thing. And if you're wondering, when will you see actual tangible results? You'll see results from today to the next 36 hours. You'll see something change in your story, something tangible, something you can point to. But I thought out of the soul pyramid, the moon in Virgo is going to be reality, and we're going to be feeling through reality and the details of reality. And everyone's reality and details are very different. But the Venus and Pluto trine, which has actually been going on for many days now. In fact, it's really at its last moment, I would say, in this next couple of days as Venus progresses forward. This is a very powerful trine because Venus really represents what we open up to for creation. So Venus is love, opening up, and creating. Pluto, on the other hand, the opposite side of the coin, is death. So we have this life and death energy that are trining together. And many clients I've spoken to personally with readings in the last couple of weeks have talked about feeling kind of a life and death struggle in their life. And I've explained to them, oh, this is Venus trining Pluto. It feels that way. You know what I mean? It feels life or death in this trine. So I thought I would go through all 12 signs today and kind of tell you where this life-death line is in your personal story, just so you can be clear, just so you can draw the line, just so you can witness it in your life, and also where you can look to witness some tangible change here in the next 24 to 36 hours. Let's begin, as always, with Aries, and I will say this also. This is one of those times where listening to your rising sign would be very important, your B story, because we are making big lifetime and era changes in our life, and so you're going to probably see a lot of these results I'm talking about in your rising sign, maybe even more than you see it in your sun sign. So listen to both and take notes if you need to. So for the Aries are opening up to a new value. So a new value is valuing something on a higher level, seeing yourself on a higher level, seeing yourself on a better income level, opening up really to a self-esteem level. And so it's the birth of a new financial esteem level, but it's the death of an old career or legacy path. So you might have thought that your career was going to go a certain way, that your legacy was going to go a certain way. Universe says, surprise, it makes a turn. And it's tied to you raising your values. Taurus is now opening up to a new character or a new action plan, something that they're going to do now. And I can say as a Taurus, I'm definitely feeling that, a new version of me coming forward. And this means that it's the death of an old story or a belief you once had. And I have to say that's very true for me too. This new character that's opening up, I did not think this is the way it was going to go. So again, Pluto is always saying, surprise, there's a big change. Gemini, you're opening up to a new inner faith, which is very important, a new higher faith. You must have and hold this sort of faith to pull off miracles in your life. Well, as you open up to this new faith, you actually allow an old trust issue to finally die. So by opening up to the faith, you close off fear and trust issues. Cancers, you're actually opening up to a social calling or a social belonging that you might not have expected. It might be a higher level, it might be a new neighborhood, it might be a different group of friends. And as you open up to this new belonging in life, you close down an old relationship path. So Cancers also thought relationships would go a certain way. Pluto's like, nope, sorry, it's going to go a different way than you thought. And so it's a neighborhood change and an old relationship pattern going. Leos are opening up to a new future and a new career. So it's the next chapter in their legacy. It's the next chapter in their career. And this actually means it will be the death of an old lifestyle. It may also be the death of illness or dis-ease or the death of any kind of unhealthy living. So as you open up to a new future, you close down the story of how lifestyle goes. And same thing for Leos. You might have thought your life was going to be a certain way. Surprise, Pluto has new plans for you. Virgos, you are opening up to a new life purpose, a new chapter in your story, a new meaningful direction to pursue. And this means the death of an old love story. So Virgos quite often are this type of people that thinks love stories will go a certain way. And Pluto's like, surprise, your love story is going to be different than you thought. And this is also tied into opening up to a new purpose and a new meaning in your life. Libras, you are opening up to a new level of trusting yourself and opening up to a new level of transformation. I've been talking to a lot of Libras right now who are really getting out of the old relationship cycles right now and opening the door to a new type of relationship. So that's huge. But it's really opening up to a new trust or a transformation. And this means you are closing the door pretty much on your childhood emotional lessons. So whatever you were born to, the way you responded to yourself emotionally as growing up, that story is dead now. What you thought what home would be, what you thought nurturing would be, is not what it's going to be. Surprise, says Pluto. Change your plans. Scorpio, you're opening up to a new level of partnership and relationships, a level you have not enjoyed just yet. And this opening up to new partnerships means it's the death of old thinking. So you're going to put to death an old logic and an old attitude. And I actually know what that attitude is. Scorpios got burned, especially in the 80s, okay, like by all their relationships. And so their mind had this attitude that relationships are bad. So I can see this one in my opposite sign Scorpio counterpart. by opening up to the relationship that's good for you, you got to quit thinking that that's going to happen. Sagittarius, you are opening up to a new lifestyle, a new way of living, a new way of working, a new way of performing, let's say, for a living. And this is the death of an old income source and the death of an old value system. So by working smarter, not harder, let's say, you are actually turning your back on poverty and turning towards profitability. Capricorns and Capricorn risings, you're now opening your heart to a new definition of love. Very interesting. Could be a new type of love, a new level of lover or companion, or a new level of creativity. All kind of go together. And by opening up to this new love, an old part of yourself is now dying. Pluto is in Capricorn. So you might have thought that you were always going to be a certain character and always do things a certain way. Surprise, says Pluto. Make the plan to change your plans. And this is tied directly to the fact that your heart wants more, so the old character is dead. Aquarius, you are opening up to a new emotional foundation, one where you actually are more caring and conscientious of your feelings than you ever have been before. And guess what? That means it's the death of a whole set of fears that you have held. So as you open up to higher self-nurturing, you kill off the deaths and the boogeyman in your subconscious. Pisces, you are opening up now to a new way of thinking, a new way of connecting, a new way of communicating, a new way of kind of partnering with people on an intellectual team basis. And by opening up to this new intellectual strategy, you're actually killing off an old reputation and an old belonging you had once upon a time in the world. So this new thinking basically puts you into a new class of people, a new level of society, and the old reputation and the old way Pisces used to be perceived is officially dead. You might have thought you were always going to be seen that way in society, but Pluto says, surprise, it's time to change your plans. So no matter how you're feeling today out there, folks, cheer up. Things are getting better. We are turning our back on the past. We are opening up to a bright new future. It may feel a little weird or out of place or out of your comfort zone at this particular moment, but Sensei says our fate, your fate, is changing. Now, I do want to remind you that tomorrow on Friday, I'm going to do Friday Live on Facebook. Many people have written me and asked, can I do it off of Facebook? No, not at the moment. Facebook at the moment is kind of the technology. You can do it on YouTube, but I am going to embed it after it's completed, embed it everywhere and spread it everywhere and let everyone see who couldn't necessarily show up for the live. I also want you to know that you'll still get your weekend forecast in Zodiac weather. It's just going to be live tomorrow. And for those who are in Facebook and are a part of our Facebook club, we're now happy to say we have 5,000 members and we are growing. So it feels like a real community, which is one of the reasons why I want to address this community. Like, hey guys, how are you? By the way, if you're a part of the club and you have a webcam, come on during the live video. I'll be looking to talk to some people on cam. All right, friends, I hope you have a good 24 hours. I hope today you go to bed feeling sunny and solid. I will be back tomorrow for Facebook Live on Friday. And until then, remember I love you, and to live, love, be.
Live, love, be.